Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Today I'm bringing you my frontline ranking for all the champions on Paladins, and I gotta tell you, this one was really hard to do too. Like the other ones, like the sport one and the flank one, there were clear and evident like worse champions, and I had like my favorite champions already set out, and it was just like in between that was kind of hard to do. This one, the whole thing was kind of hard to do, and because I don't really dislike any of the frontliners that much, and I like them for different things, so it's kind of harder to distinguish which one's the best one, because some of them you do use for different situations and stuff like that. Before I get into it, I'm going to be putting up the damage champion ranking after 63 comes out for console. Console doesn't have 63 yet, so when Revivian comes out and I get some playtime with her, I will bring you guys a video ranking all the damage champions. So for how I kind of based off my ranking, I went off of how well they can actually hold down a point and viability as a frontliner, and I use kind of a little bit of solo ability with along if you like play with another frontliner. A few factors like that play into it. But starting off, my lowest ranking, or my least favorite Torvald, or frontliner I give away, is Torvald. And a lot of people were probably upset by that, because a lot of people do like Torvald, I know, or I don't even have a custom loadout for him. I think it's just because of my lack of experience playing as Torvald. Like you see, I don't have really the essence to get the field study card, which is the really good card right now. But I feel like he's countered pretty easily. Like I don't really worry when I see a Torvald in a match. You just have to focus a little bit better, like on taking care of him, handling him. Like he can do damage, but he doesn't really have any way to clear the point, and his shield is broken pretty quickly once you if the enemy team starts picking up record. So I feel like he's kind of situational to use. Yeah, you can put out a lot of damage, and I know a lot of people say that, oh, you get top damage with Torvald. And in fact, the last match I played in, I had top damage with Torvald, but it's not what you want really for a frontline. A frontliner shouldn't just be giving out damage; they should actually help the team. I feel like Torvald doesn't quite do that, so that's why he comes in at 8th. So coming at number 7 is my Ruckus. Now, I'm not saying that Ruckus is a bad champion, because he's a really good champ. Like, can put out a lot of damage, large damage output, but he struggles a little bit with holding down a point, because the only thing he has is his emitter, and his emitter only has 3,000 health for his shield, so it's a little hard to keep that. You do have advance and stuff to get out of it, like out of trouble off the point and stuff like that, but your emitter, nearby enemies are slowed. I didn't know that, but your shield, it breaks relatively easy, and he just kind of struggles. If you're going against other frontliners, he doesn't do as well on the point. So that's why Ruckus comes in at number 7. This is where it started to get really difficult for my rankings. So until recently, I never really liked Nara, but I started playing her because she has that slow, and she works as a good counter to Terminus, because Terminus relies almost solely on his ability to get in your face to hit you with his melee weapon attack, and her Warder's field prevents that, or it slows him down and gets it harder for him to get in your face to attack you. Also, with her Earthen Guard and cards like my loadout I have, you can pretty much absorb a lot more damage than you should, because of all the damage reduction stacks up. And if you pick up Haven, you have a support, you'll be able to stay on the point for a good while, like not die very easily. But Anara doesn't do that much damage. She does kind of struggle with killing enemy champions on sometimes she works well, other times it's a little different. her wall is more of just control. It's not actually really used for shielding, so if you need to, say, shield your team for a bunch, you can't do it as well, in my opinion. So that's why Nar comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, I have Ashe. Now, I didn't really want Ashe to be this far down the ranking because I really do like Ashe. She is a good frontliner. She can hold down a point well with her little shield, and she can control the point well with her kinetic burst. And she can get out of her fight with shoulder bash, or you can push enemies off the point, which is how I use it sometimes. This is the loadout I run for her. Gives her more health, some damage reduction, just stuff like that. Kind of just all around things to buff individual things. But she does a good bit of damage. You just kind of have to get used to how her weapon works. It just kind of takes a little bit to get used to, but she is good. It's just I had so many other people ranked above her that it kind of pushed Ashe down the list to the number 5 slot. So the number 4 slot goes to Fernando, and I'll show you my loadout. It gives me a lot of shield and lets me get my charge back quickly. So normally how I use Fernando more as a flank Nando, which works well if you have another frontliner, because you can go around the flank routes and come back up. Because Fernando, you should almost always run the Scorch legendary card, in my opinion. There shouldn't be another one that you pick up. Sometimes at like beginner levels you run Aegis, but and I've seen some people run Formidable, but I don't really like the thought that my legendary card only works once every 45 seconds. I like to know that it's readily available, and Scorch will help you put out a lot of damage so that you can work well to hold down a point if you have another one. But if you don't have another frontliner, you can still hold down a point because of his shield. His shield will block 8,000 damage, and it's up for 10 seconds unless you run the Aegis card. He has a charge which deals damage and helps him get out of it, and Fireball, you can stack up and hit multiple enemies with it. And then his ultimate is very powerful because it'll heal, or not heal, but it'll protect your allies in clutch moments. Whenever you need to hold down a spot, you can use your ultimate and you won't die, and your teammates won't die as long as they were there when you did it. So that's why Fernando comes in at number 4. So number 3 goes to Terminus. Now, I haven't really got to play with Terminus that much still, but just a few matches that I have had to play with Terminus, I've found out like how much of a beast he really is. Like, Terminus is probably one of the best champions at holding down a point because that's what he does. Anybody else gets on the point and you're in swinging range and you just get beat down by Terminus. Also, his legendary card, the one I have is Undying, and it gives you damage reduction when you're below half health. The Crush one I've also seen people will use, which I feel like would be pretty good, because if you land your Shatterfall, you would stun them, also, which would give you time to get at least one free swing off on them. So on top of doing 500 damage, you'll have another 700 attack on top of this. You have 1200 right there. His Power Siphon, which is his quote-unquote shield, is kind of ridiculous. If sometimes, like, you'll think you're shooting behind him or something, and you'll still be hitting his Power Siphon, and he, like, completely blocks effects from it, like slows and stuff, or stuns. Sometimes I've seen, like, a Grumpy Bomb will stun me through a Fernando shield sometimes, and I don't understand it, but it does it sometimes. It doesn't at all with Power Siphon out, and it doesn't have a cooldown. That's the other thing. Technically it has a little bit of a cooldown if you use it kind of like willy-nilly, but if you like know how to actually use it, then it's not bad. And he doesn't really have to worry about any large cooldowns, and he does have a Shatterfall, which isn't really an escape. You more or less use it to stay in there. And then his ultimate is what helps him keep points so well, because, well, sometimes, Like if he dies and the whole team's there, it's basically a sky time bomb, and it just brings you back to life, and you're at it again. And it controls the point really well and helps clears it, similar to how like a time bomb, like I said, will clear the point. This will clear the point. So that's why Terminus comes in at number 3, despite being relatively new still. My number 2 slot goes to McCullough, Turtle Man himself. McCullough is also one of the other champions. Despite being kind of squishy, I mean, he doesn't have as much health as, say, Torvald or Ashe. Actually, I don't know about Torvald, but it's that anchor that gives him such control. If you say for Terminus, if Terminus is getting shot by somebody at long range, Terminus can't really do that much about it. McCullough, you're getting shot at long range, you take your dredge anchor and you pull them to you and you kill them almost instantly, especially with that. You always want to run. Well, I guess I shouldn't say always, but most of the time I did see some people in the pro leagues playing or running Leviathan over the weekend, which I think it's because it's for the health. They're not really that worried about the CC control, I don't think, but because when you're playing in the pros, you need to maximize your ultimates as much as you can. But so they use that. But Pluck is for normally play. I think Pluck's the legendary card to definitely go with. It gives you more damage after you hook them on your first shot. And for small, squishy champions like damage and flank champions, one shot, a hook, and another shot will be pretty close to killing them, I think, if not killing them. Maybe not. How much does the hook do, actually? Doesn't vary. So, say, we'll go with like 3 shots, because if it was 100%, it'd be 12. Yeah, like 3 shots from a cannon, and that's just from you. So if they're getting hit by any of your teammates, then they'll die really quickly. His shell shield does block, or give him 6,000 shielding, which does block from his team, which is good. His shell spin is his escape, and it can knock people off the path too, because it does do knockback when you scroll or like roll in, so you can save a point or knock people off if you need to. And then his ultimate is another one of those that it will clear a point most of the time, and if it doesn't clear the point, if they don't get off, then they lose. It's the reason for all the memes out there for Paladins. You can't challenge McCullough. Yeah, it's really hard to kill McCullough when he's in Ancient Rage, because he has another 5,000 health, and then that for the normal one without the legendary card, and then he does 650 hit every swing. That's 50 less than Terminus's axe, but he does move faster when he's in it, and it lasts 8 seconds. It's a pretty long ult, and it really helps McCullough hold down the point. I don't know if I showed you my loadout. This loadout I run, basically all around the anchor. Like I said, you want to use the anchor as much as you can. So I got one that reduces the cooldown, gives you damage reduction, get life steal from it, and then that's just like a filler card to get some health back. But almost all anchor is the way to go, I think, for McCullough. So that leaves the number 1 spot to Barrack, the master mechanic. I don't know why this isn't this. It always messes up. I do have the obsidian stuff. Did work hard to get all the obsidian stuff for Barrack. Where is it? There it is. But I'll show you the loadout. This is the loadout. I don't really use this loadout anymore, but it's more of like a shield one. Like if you have another, I don't really know why you use it, honestly. It's not really that good. This is the one I always run. It revolves around your turrets. Barrack's strongest asset is his turrets. It helps keep other people off the point, and it deals more damage. So you can have 2 turrets down and you're shooting. It's basically like having 3 in 1 for a champion. Sorry about that. Barrack shield protects the turrets. These cards heal your turrets, like that one. Combat repair, you heal your turret just by standing by it, and your turrets heal you. So you get 180 every second for standing near one of your turrets. The two of them, you get 360 every second just by standing next to your turrets. So even if you don't have a front or a support champion, you can still hold down a point really easily. Now the turrets did get nerfed in the last update. They can miss even with the Architectonics legendary card. Even though I still feel like that's the best legendary card. I never played around with tinkering at all. I've seen some people use it to decent success. And then Fortify, you don't really want to use Fortify, it's not that good. Yeah, sorry about that. Architectonics is definitely the way to go. It, like I said, all about the turrets. Turrets do 150 every second, and if you play it well, you want to use your shield to most of the time protect your turrets. Put them in front of that and put your turrets in a spot where they won't get destroyed. And if you do that, you can completely hold on a point for like the entire match using Barrack. And then his dome shield, his ultimate, can save a push right at the end, especially if it's a hit or miss situation, because most times you get under the flamethrower or under the dome shield, then the flamethrower inside will kill you. Pretty much unavoidable. And the dome shield, 20,000 health, you're not breaking that thing. It's not gonna happen. Like I said, these are just, so that's why Barrack comes in number one. I think he is still one of the best frontliners, even though I've seen not many people use him anymore, especially in like higher ups, but I still feel like he is very viable as a frontliner, and so I gave him my number one spot. So, like I said, these are always just my opinion. That's just how I feel about them. Like I said, it was hard to do it. There were some I feel like could maybe have been switched, like Fernando and Ashe. Maybe an aura could have been moved around. Terminus, I don't really know. But I think it's pretty close. So if you guys enjoyed this and you agree with my ranking, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not already. And then if you guys have different opinions, I'd love to hear them, see how you guys think the ranking should be. Be sure to leave comment your rankings below in the comment section. And be sure to be on the lookout for my damage ranking whenever Vivian comes out for console. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all I got. See you guys next time.